Let's talk. It's Friday. We missed last Friday. We're talking this Friday. As you can see, I'm ready for Halloween. I've got my wings on, my wing backpack. Woo-hoo-hoo. We are waiting for some people to come in. Happy Halloween. Because we are not meeting on Halloween. We are meeting the day before, but I'll have my wings on then too. So I have on my wings, ready to chit-chat with you all for today. What can we talk about today? I think I want to talk about, let's see. Hi, everybody. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Latish. Hi, Vero. Hi, Ahana and Nicole. Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. You can see I have on my wings. Good morning, Brenda. I have on my wings today. I usually answer the door for Halloween with this on with some makeup on because I don't wear makeup anyway. So when I do, it's just for special occasions. It's just some eyeliner and some lipstick, but I do it all up for the kids when we get them. Hopefully this year we'll get some more kids than we did last year because of the pandemic. But let's talk about, let's talk about sleep. So we were on with before I go into that, yesterday we were on with Dr. Ashira Blazer, and we had a great conversation about COVID shots, and she was telling us about the different COVID shots and what they were, and giving us just great information. It was so good information. If you want to see it again, you can go on back and view it, and you'll be able to hear what she has to say and learn a little bit of something. Doesn't mean you have to take the shot. You do what's best for you, but it's still good information that you could use and you can share with someone else that you think might be able to use it as well. But today I was on my little watch app here, right? And I noticed last night, I got 7 hours of sleep. I was too excited about that 7 hours of sleep because usually I've been getting like 6, maybe 5 or 6 hours. But we know that we have to get some real sleep in order to really fight off lupus flares and to be able to handle everything that goes on with lupus. So I started thinking about it. I started thinking about how can I make myself get at least 7 hours or more of sleep. And I've come to the conclusion that I have to be intentional about it. I have to be like on top of it, on point all the time if I want to get that amount of sleep. I have to be intentional in setting a bedtime routine. I started to set stuff on my watch. I have to be intentional in making a time and a ritual out of going to bed, as opposed to just running, and then going to bed whenever you can. Let's see, what y'all talking about? What y'all saying? Nicole, you got all 3 of what? What did you get all 3 of? Letitia said that's a dream. I got 4 hours last night. Yeah, usually I'm about 4 or 5 hours. 4 or 5 hours. Good to know. I never know that you had to get some sleep. Yes, you do have to get sleep. Kamisha says she slept 3 hours last night and now it's raining and freezing. Yes, it is pouring here. It's killing my joints. It's killing me right now. Love the wings. Hey, thank you. I've had these for a while. I use them every year. But I figured out that I have to be intentional in anything that I want to get done with lupus. I have to really be on point with my head game. And when I say that, I mean that if I don't think it and write it down and make a plan, then it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So I kind of have to trick my brain into figuring out what to do for myself to get some extra sleep. Someone said they've been up since 9 p.m. and unfortunately still don't feel sleepy. Oh, darling, I'm so sorry, CSA for life. That's rough. And you know what makes it even harder? If you're on specific medications, it's kind of hard to get some sleep. Like if you're on prednisone, it causes some, sleeplessness and all that stuff. So it's kind of hard to do that when you're on certain medications. But what I have found for myself, and I can only tell you what I feel what I felt and what I found to work for me. And that is to make a plan. Just like you make a plan for your day, just like you make a to-do list, I have had to make a plan for sleep. So I've said to myself, I set my watch to go and say 11 o'clock is your bedtime. 6 a.m. could be your wake up time. I'm not really an early bird. It seems like lately I have been because my son leaves early for work. But I'm not really an early bird, but I found that it's actually fitting with me. So what I've done is that I put it down. I had it in my head. I've got to do something. Then I took it from my head and I put it on paper to say, this is what I need to do. I need to set a time for me to go to bed and wake up. I need to create a ritual for my bedtime so that I'm not all over the place. And then I need to make a concerted effort to get my big butt in the bed. It really was that simple for now. Does it work every day? Excuse me. No, it does not. Sometimes I go to bed 1, 2 o'clock. I might be up watching a movie or, my mind is just going. But I have noticed that if I put it on paper and I make a plan, I set my watch or I set my phone to remind me, go to bed. My phone, makes a little sound, go to sleep. And it reminds me that it's time to go to bed. I will stop what I'm doing and just go to bed. I have been talking to my husband and he's been talking about something. I'll be like, oh, I got to go to bed. And just go upstairs and go to bed. Because with me, who said that they're up? Janine up at 4:30 a.m. every morning? Whew. I love you, girl. You must be a definite morning person. That's early for me. I get up at 6:30. But that's, I don't move anywhere. I might be sitting, I still might be laying in the bed, but I'm still up and ready for the day, meditating before I get out of bed and things of that nature. But going back to the sleep thing, I've just had to make a commitment to really take that sleep as something that is very important. We know that if you don't get enough sleep, you're supposed to have 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Okay, that's pushing it. That's pushing it, especially when we have aches and pains, when we have children, when we have jobs, when we have things in our mind. But what I have found is that if I make the plan and I try and stick with it, then it works out just a little bit better. So if you want to try and get some more sleep, I'm not going to tell you that this is going to really work for you, but I just want you to try it and then let me know how it works. What I have done is that, 1, I make a time for me to go to sleep and to wake up. 2, I make a ritual for me to go to sleep. So that ritual might be reading a book. The ritual might be meditating. The ritual might be taking a bath. For me, the ritual is meditating. I do a lot of meditation. 3, I make a concerted effort to hit that goal every day. And if I don't hit the goal one day, I don't beat myself up about it. I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm not going to be upset. I'm just going to be okay about it. I just know tomorrow I need to do better. 4, I keep a log of my sleep habits. Because when you wake up in the morning, you might feel groggy. You might have a lot of pain. You might slip into a flare. It might be because of the lack of sleep. So I like to keep that journal of sleep habits. And if I'm sleeping all night or if I got up or whatever have you, you might not remember. But, keep a running list of what's going on so that you know what's really starting those flares. Is it lack of sleep? Is it lack of healthy food? Is it lack of movement? Some of those things can bring on flares. So once I do those 4 things, then I'm ready to really put it in action. And a lot of people say it's easier said when done. I like to say it's easier done when said and concerted action is put into it. I'm not going to tell you those 4 things are going to change you automatically. Oh, wait, the 5th thing. Before you go to bed, and this one is real important. Before you go to bed, you have to do a brain dump. You have to take everything out of your head and put it on a piece of paper, throw it in the garbage, burn it, flush it down the toilet. It's the simplest thing, and it sounds really stupid, but it's the simplest thing to create a movement in your mind to really get rid of the junk that happened in your day. I'm missing some of these comments, so let me get back to these comments. Nicole says, sometimes I don't go to bed till like 8 in the morning, and then I'm up at 11. Whew, that's rough, baby. That's going to make you get some flares too, so be careful with that. Try and just lay down. Try and just lay down and just laying there. Don't just empty your brain. You know what I mean? Just empty your brain. Write it all down on a piece of paper, like I was just saying. Toss it in the garbage so that you can just relieve yourself of that stress. Latice says, now one thing I do is I will fall asleep like 7 to 9:30. That's a nice time. I wish I could fall asleep that early. Then I get back up. Then I struggle to get back to sleep. I take melatonin. Last night I took a triple dose and then fell asleep. Yes, you can do all types of stuff, and sometimes staying asleep is more of the problem than anything, and then getting back to sleep. I do want to caution you, if you're using melatonin and you're finding yourself having some flares, it could be the melatonin, because sometimes that does cause flares in lupus warriors. So just to give you a heads up on that. Wild Child says, I'm up between 6 a.m. and 7:20, but up until 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. Whew. You guys, you got to get some sleep. You got to get some sleep. Even if you're taking tea, if you're using chamomile tea, melatonin, if you can take it, do something to make you get some sleep. And you don't want to just fall asleep. You want to get some good sleep. You don't want to just be like, like Latish was saying, that you're waking up back and forth. You want to get some real sleep. So it's real important for you to get a ritual and to help yourself mentally, because our mind has so much power over our body. What we tell our mind to do is going to relay it to our body, and our body is going to follow. It might take some practice to do, but the body is going to follow. So make sure you're mentally preparing yourself for sleep. I've been having flare-up for months and can't get rid of it. Nicole, what are you eating? What are you doing? Are you keeping a log of your food, of your activity and stuff like that? I find that if you keep a log and you keep a journal of these things, that it really does help to find and pinpoint those flares. Janine says, the doctor told me not to take my injections this week because I got my booster, so I'm expecting a flare up. Yeah, Janine, I'm going to tell you, you're going to get a flare. Number one, because vaccines always give us a flare because it stimulates the immune system to create those B cells, like Dr. Blazer was saying last night. Number two, when you're not taking your injections, I assume you're talking either methotrexate or Benlysta. Of course, that's going to make you flare up because you're not getting your medication. So just be careful. Take your time. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's going to be okay. For some, CBD is very helpful. Absolutely, Wild Child. Absolutely, Wild Child. Some people can have those, have some CBD oil or even smoke and be good for the night. All right, so that's good. Use whatever it takes that doesn't harm your body to help you rest, because rest is so important. Rest is so important. So I just wanted to come on a little bit and talk about that. Nicole says, do you also have fibromyalgia? Because I have that with lupus. I do not have fibromyalgia. I have lupus, type 2 diabetes, and severe rheumatoid arthritis. And if you look at my finger, you can't really see it now, but you can see the arthritis starting to pull out my joints a little bit and things like that. I do not have fibromyalgia, but I know that some people have, lupus never comes alone. It always brings its little stupid friends with it. Fibromyalgia, Sjogren's syndrome, Raynaud's, rheumatoid arthritis. It always brings all these little negative nannies with them to come and mess with you. So you just got to make sure that you're dealing with the root of the problem, which is probably lupus. Let's see what else we got here. And Nicole says, I haven't really been doing anything. I've been going to doctors and doctors. I know. And sometimes, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes lupus is like that. You know, it just comes out of nowhere and just beats the crap out of you, and there's nothing you can do but wait it out. You know what I mean? Other times it might be something that we've eaten, or, you know, some activity that we haven't done, or, you know, something that, you know, in the environment that might, you know, the lights in your house. You know, we have to start looking at these things. Before you go to sleep, also try not to be on the internet too much. I know that's hard because, you know, sometimes the games or whatever have you help me sleep. But try not to get that blue light because it does keep you up. You just want to make a ritual. Make sure that your bedroom is, you know, completely dark, and that you have a little ritual. You could lay in the bed, say some mantras, do some breathing. There's a breathing exercise. It's called the 4-7-8, and you breathe in for 4, you hold it for 7, and you release it for 8. And that usually helps me, especially if I'm, you know how you get anxious with lupus at night, because at night everything is quiet and your brain is just doing all this, you know, the neurons are just going and everything's just coming to your head. And when I do this whole 4-7-8, it really calms my brain, it calms my heart, it calms my spirit, and it does help me to fall asleep. Let's see. Who is this? Mel. Let's see, Mel. I'm gonna try and bring you in, okay? And then we're gonna get ready to go. I'm bringing you in. Let's see what we got here. You ready? Was that a mistake, Melly? Not a problem. If you all want to come on and talk, that's fine too. But if not, you can put your questions right in the question box or in the chat. You know what, Nicole? The finger does not actually hurt. It's just when it first formed, it's like a calcium deposit, I imagine. When it first formed, it kind of was achy. But right now, you know, it's good. I'm surprised because the rain is killing me everywhere else in my body. I'm on medicinal cannabis. This is Wild Child patient, and it helps with blood sugar type 1 here, fibromyalgia, highly suspected lupus, HS, insomnia, etc. You know what? The cannabis will work. It will. A lot of people have said the cannabis work. My son is type 1 diabetic, and he has these little, I guess they're like cigarettes that you can smoke that have CBD in it and everything, and they do help with his sugars. And what I've noticed for me, I think because I was a former athlete, the workouts work best for me. Work out, sleep well, and eat right really helps to keep my sugars down. And don't ask me how I got type 2 diabetes, because I was pretty much a vegetarian when I was diagnosed. So go figure. Sometimes they say it just runs in the family. My son does have type 1, and there are other people in my family that have diabetes. So I don't know if it's just in the genes, you know how it goes. Red light therapy is extremely helpful for fibromyalgia. Yes, the red light therapy might be good for fibromyalgia, but it might stir up that whole lupus too. So be careful. Just make sure that you're talking to your doctor about all the different things that you want to try before you try it, so that you're not, you know, going back to going back to the doctor and flares and everything like that. Let's see, what else do we have? So I just wanted to come on very briefly, and then I'll add an image to say the different things that I have done to help me sleep. But I wanted to really come on here and talk about that, because I actually was proud of myself when I got 7 hours of sleep. I mean, I was tired yesterday. I've been in pain for the past couple of weeks. And with this weather and everything, it just, you know, it takes a lot out of you. And people don't realize if it's a full moon, you know, you can get a flare. If the rain comes, you can get a flare. Sometimes if the wind blows, you'll get a flare. But I've been flaring. It's not even really flaring. It's just my arthritis is just really messing with me right now. Excuse me, because of the change of the weather, because of the change of the seasons. I always tell my husband we need to just move to like Arizona and just become short order cooks and just live there with the heat. But the heat is not really that great. Sometimes the heat gets to me and the sun gets to me. So you just got to find the happy medium and be okay with it. But I do want you all to try some of the things that I talked about to get you some sleep. Let's see, what are we talking about in the chat? Yeah, lady, I think it's hereditary. My sister has it, my brother has it. It's in my husband's family. My son is type 1. It's in the line. You know, even with my lupus, my father passed away of scleroderma. So it's they don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I really feel that some of these things, these autoimmune diseases, are in our line. And even though we try to prevent the flares and prevent things from happening with it, you know, it's kind of inevitable with the way that our body composition is. Nicole wants to know, do you have brain fog because I'm losing memory and I have to go get a brain scan? Yes, I do have brain fog, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Once my levels started going down and my body started leveling out with the medication and stuff like that, Nicole. But if you're having a lot of memory loss, the brain scan is definitely important, because you don't want to get to the point where you are dealing with some CNS lupus, and that's central nervous system lupus, where it can affect your brain. So the scan is actually good, and I hope that it comes back negative for you and that it's just, you know, just brain fog and not something more serious. Wild Child says cucumbers and cinnamon are also good for lowering glucose levels. Yes, I love cucumbers. I will eat cucumbers just, you know, like a banana. I love cucumbers. But you know, sometimes I feel like my body is just rebelling. You know, it's like, yeah, you're doing all this good stuff, but boom, here you go, take that. Just to humble me a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what my body does. My body is so weird. Congratulations on sleeping. Yeah, sometimes you have to congratulate yourself, right, Nicole? The brain fog gets so bad, it's very frustrating. Yes, it is very frustrating. Sometimes, you know what? When I first got diagnosed, I had brain fog, and I went down the wrong side of the street. But I did not know that I had lupus at the time. Hindsight is 2020. When I look back, it was really a really bad brain fog, and I was younger then. You know, it was way before I moved from New York to Virginia, and now that I look back, I'm like, wow, I can see now where lupus was trying to peek its little head. You know, when I was 15, 16 years old, going to work or going to school on a bus, I used to get hives when I went out in the sun. And, you know, hindsight is 2020. When you look back, you can really see and pinpoint where things might have started happening. You don't think about that when you're at that age, but after you've been diagnosed for some time, you can now look back and see, wow, that might have been where lupus had started. Stress causes flares too. Heck yeah. Gotta reduce that stress. And you know what? Reducing stress is hard. Reducing stress is so difficult. But you have to do it. When those people, I put up a post a while ago about see that toxic person, walk the other way. Yes, you got to do it, even if it's people in your family. I have walked away from my son. I have walked away from my husband. I've walked away from friends. I don't care. I'm not going to let you stress me out. I'm not going to let you stress me into a flare. Lady says, I'm in Philadelphia and the rain is kicking my butt. It's kicking my behind too. Everybody's getting rain. I don't know what the deal is. This rain is just, oh, I love it because it makes things grow, and I love it because it cleanses. But dang on it, that pain that comes with it really sucks. Really sucks. I have had lupus, Marie, officially since 2003. I was first diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, but a little right after I was diagnosed with arthritis, I had a bout with ascites, which is the swelling of your intestines, and I had about 4 liters of fluid in my belly. And once that happened, that's when I got a firm diagnosis of lupus. That's a little bit about me. About my diabetes is, but I'm the only one in my family with type 1. Yeah, you know what? Wild child, my son is the only one that has type 1. Everybody else is type 2. So I thought that was interesting, but I'm interested. If I was a scientist, I'd probably be interested in finding out, like, who in your family from you down, like if your child has an autoimmune disease and how that links with certain genes. I wish I was a scientist. I just don't have the mind for it, honestly. Um, Nicole says, I don't have diabetes and I love cucumbers. I can eat them like candy. Me too, Nicole. My aunt and cousin have lupus, but mine is so much worse. Janine, I'm sorry. It seems like everybody's lupus is so different, but the same, if that makes sense. And sometimes we can go through such hard periods with lupus. And if you have SLE and it starts to attack some organs, then, you know, it makes it even more difficult. If you have discoid lupus and you start to get the little, you know, lesions and stuff like that, like I have, some people have had the lesions in their hair and have lost their hair and had to go bald and things like that. So, you know, lupus can do so many different things to so many different people in so many different ways. It's so hard. It's so hard. Wild Child, I'll be interested when you get that certification as to the natural health and healing. So contact me when you get that so we can talk. Let's see. I was misdiagnosed and found out in April I have lupus. Nicole, what were you misdiagnosed with? What did they diagnose you with? A lot of people are coming back with saying that they were, it takes about, 2 to 5 years to get a true diagnosis of lupus. So I can understand the misdiagnosis. Oh, you're in West Virginia. Okay. Raining cats and dogs, yeah, all over Virginia. It's ridiculous. My brain fog is so bad at times that my husband asks me, yeah, mine does too, Janine. My husband's always like, do I need to contact the doctor because you're kind of wonky right now? But it's good that they actually realize it. And as long as they know that, I mean, I'm not going crazy. I'm just like, sometimes I forget, and you all can tell me if this happens to you. Sometimes in a brain fog, I forget how to spell my own name. Now that's crazy. That is nuts. And it is very scary, Nicole. Very scary. So I did want to, wow, Brenda, 32 years. You keep fighting a good fight, girl. You keep fighting. My mother, sister, and uncle, and grandmother negative ANA, SLE, lupus, yeah. So it can be kind of, it can be kind of hard. In a few weeks, maybe next week or so, you'll see a article that I'll put out about foretelling your flares and how that can happen, with the brain fog. And I know I get bad dreams when I'm, when a real good flare is coming. I don't know if you want to call it a good flare, but a big flare is coming on. So, but I did want to come on here very briefly because I have something that I have to do at 2. I have to speak with someone at 2 about dietitian and dietary things that I want to present to you all. But I want to just remind you guys to get some rest. Get some rest. And if you feel like you can't rest, empty out your brain. Empty out that brain. Put it all on paper. Put it all down and throw it in the garbage, and you will see a difference. Sometimes the things that we are dealing with have to do with our mindsets. Our mind is such a powerful, powerful object to fix our bodies. Not even fix it. I don't even want, because we're not broken. I don't want to say fix your body. I want to say help your body to cope just a little bit better. So I will send out a little image to show you all that you can refer back to, and hopefully some of what I've stated can help you get some rest. But thank you everybody for tuning in, taking some time out of your day to just tune in and chat with me. Dee says, I'm from New Orleans. It's so hard for me to eat the right foods. I can imagine it is. Dee. I know it is, but I look at it this way, Dee. I look at it as you don't have to remove everything, but if you're keeping a log as to what you're eating, you can tell what gives you the flare. So you can't remove everything because that kind of like messes with your head. Remove the things that you can a little bit at a time, and you'll get it done. So thank you all for tuning in, and I have my butterfly wings. I hope to see you all tomorrow at 3 p.m. on the Zoom support group where we can talk and chit chat in a private setting where we do not record or anything like that. All right. So tomorrow it's on our webpage, the Zoom link. and the Zoom ID and the password is on our webpage and on our Instagram and Facebook page. But I want to thank you all for tuning in today, and I will talk to you all on tomorrow if I see you at the meeting. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.